Hello friends! In July 2025, Croatia hosted another stage of the Grain Chess Tour. The centerpiece of the rapid rounds was a clash of two Indian giants, Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa, the fresh winner of the Super Tournament in Uzbekistan, against the reigning world champion, Dommaraju Gukesh, an all-Indian classic. And of course, no battle like this could pass without the king's Indian. Pragg builds a wigwam on the king's side. Gukesh sets up a concrete wall against the bishop. In return, the Indian prodigy strikes at the bishop and, after retreating, betrays the king's Indian and steers the game toward Catalan waters. Dommaraju responds with a Slav triangle, opening the bishop's path. White castles, and after developing the knight, blasts the center, aiming that if black captures, he can jump knight e5. In that line, black surrenders the center, and if they try to hold the pawn, boom! White takes on c6, and the diagonal burns wide open. So in our game, Gukesh calmly prepares to castle Rameshbabu, finishes the knight development, and after the world champ castles, White activates another knight, shielding the pawn. Gukesh wants to trade off this tempo gobbler. Pragg kicks the bishop with a pawn. Of course, capturing on e5 is suicide, because of double trouble, and black would lose material. So the bishop retreats, and Pragg, rubbing his hands with glee, exchanges on g6, grabbing the bishop's pair, and the bishops are ruling the board. He secures the pawn, while the world champion improves his bishop, lurking around the dark squares. White centralizes a rook, black mirrors it. Pragg completes development. Gukesh shakes off the pin. Out of the opening, White has only a symbolic edge, the bishop pair. But can they actually shine here? If White pushes e4 to crack the position, black keeps trading on e4, then hits the bishop, leaving White with a miserable pawn. So, instead of forcing, Pragg plays this mysterious bishop d2. Gukesh fully preps for the center to explode. The best move for White? g5, kick the knight back to the rim. But instead, Pragg locks it up, leaving his bishops on a starvation diet. And here comes the world champion. Here's a check to pin on your collar. After the retreat, he blasts the base of the pawn chain, taking the bishop. Bad idea. Boom. The pawn strike uncorks a double threat, king in check, knight under fire. Black trades on the block, wins back material, and emerges with an extra pawn in the endgame. Capturing on e5. Also ugly, black smashes through with c5, attacking the queen. On queen d4, another hit comes in, the white center is wiped out, and black again ends up a pawn up. So Pragg reinforces with e3. Gukesh reroutes his knight to e6, ready for exchanges, all guns pointing at the weakling pawn. White goes full defense mode. The champ finishes his knight maneuver, and still, taking the bishop loses on the spot to a discovered double attack, king in check, queen under fire. So Pragg goes into trench mode. The world champion trades in the center, and not wanting to babysit a backward pawn, Rameshbabu recaptures with his bishop. Gukesh whispers across the board, "I'll set you up, my friend. Your luck just met its end." Now the threat is clear, capture on d4, creating a weak pawn on d4, or on c5. Pragg covers again. Black slices the queenside pawns. After a 3, black calmly swings the rook, eyeing the soon-to-be open file. This is the kind of position no one wants to play, ugly, lifeless, going nowhere. Pragg can only shuffle king g1, knight d7. He's stacking queen and bishop, building a deadly diagonal battery. Finally, the champ trades in the center. If White takes with a pawn, comes bishop f6, then the knight returns to e6, and that pawn on d4 is howling like a lone wolf. It knows the end is near. So Pragg recaptures with the knight. But now Gukesh shows the cracks. White avoided pawn weaknesses. But the position is full of holes. Pragg searches for counterplay. After knight e5, he pushes b5. Gukesh just slams the knight onto the board. White adds protection. Rook c8, queen d3, trying to knock out the knight's support. But queen e7 reveals the truth. The pawn on c5 is dead. Pragg trades on c6. And knight b3 does not help, because here comes the double Shah rook. The knight forks the queen and rook in one move. In the game, rook c1 was played, but fittingly, the pawn that recklessly rushed to c5 in the opening now goes down like Materazzi after Zidane's headbutt. White could try to stay afloat with knight f3. Instead, Pragg dives into a combo, but it is flawed. After taking on c6, he strikes d5, hoping to recover material and hold a pawn up in the ending. Gukesh tells him, "Dream on, buddy." He counterattacks the strongest piece. If white takes on c6, black smashes d3. On bishop e8, he scoops c1. Black's up a piece in the endgame, so Pragg sidesteps, moves the queen. Black calmly drops his queen to d7. The piece is gone, resignation's in the air. Still, the Indian prodigy wiggles for a few more moves. He trades on c8, pokes the knight, pokes the bishop. Gukesh, clutching his bishop, delivers the final blow. The white bishop is hanging. If white takes on c6, black detonates with e3, fires off a check. After the king steps aside, queens come off, bishop drops. Black's up a piece. If white tries d4, black just crushes with d5. Same result. Seeing no escape, on move 38, Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa resigns. And that is how the world champion, Dommaraju Gukesh, punished his countrymen for reckless opening adventures. His accuracy, 97%. A cold, clinical execution. So friends, leave a comment, smash that like button, subscribe to my awesome chess, and hit the bell, because chess is awesome.